Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to get a Stinger Heigh 10 head unit installed in the Toyota Tacoma. Aeon, aka MT_Aeon on Instagram. I'll link him below. He's going to be helping me out. He's going to do all the work pretty much. Well, I'll be helping out. So all the credit to him. So today we're going to unbox this. Garbage truck factory, but when you open this, head unit, and as we see there, this is the prime one. I believe this is the one that everybody wants to see. This is the actual screen, the head unit. Looks white, man. Let's see. Now I'll just rip it off. Oh, there it is. It's taped up right here. Didn't see it, but there you go. This is how it looks like. Pretty wide, as advertised. Obviously, the features of this I'm not gonna go into because obviously there's other channels out there that have already talked about the features with it. I'm just here to show the unboxing part as well as the installation part. Obviously this is part of the head unit. This part right here, I'm not really sure what it's called. And then we got another box here, it looks like. It's probably going to contain the wires, I'm going to guess. Yep, some of the wiring, as well as a bunch of instructions here, I'm sure. Some harnesses here, yep, and the instructions, they're all right here. The manual installation guide. So we're going to go through that pretty extensively. And then I think this is part of the head unit, maybe it goes right here. And then last part right here, I'm not really sure, but I think this is where it mounts inside. We'll figure that all out later when we do the installation. But also what came in the kit is this plastic looking thingy, and break that, make sure it's intact. This is the actual Toyota kit. Specifically, I think they make one specifically, Stinger makes one specific to their head units, and so I'm thinking this is like, you know, what goes outside and things of that nature. And a bunch of wiring here as well, and some plugs, and yep, I think this is the one that goes into the head unit right here in the front, where it's gonna stick outside. Stay tuned.
Some of our more keen viewers would have noticed some tires sitting here. That's because my friend Louis here has just upgraded to 39s. So his 37s, a full set, is up for sale. If you guys, want a set of 37 BF Goodrich mud-terrains, call or text him and DM him, and he's gonna hook you up.
Thank you, sir. Alright guys, we've already started to take this apart. It's really easy. There is that pry tool that I showed you earlier. It's really not necessary. We kind of just pulled it off and it came off completely. So now Aeon here is grabbing a wrench to start removing that head unit that's currently in there, which is previously a smaller one, much smaller. It is a good unit, but it's much smaller. It's Kenwood compared to the 10-inch screen from Stinger. So we just removed one of the screws holding it in there.
10 millimeters.
10 millimeter. So remember that. I know that's the one that everybody loses. 10 millimeter socket. So Aeon's removing it by his hand. Removing the bottom one. I'll remove this one right here. This side. And the bottom one too. So moving that side. And now we're going to go ahead and put in the head unit into the actual piece here that's going to slap on straight to the head unit over there. So Aeon is working, we're trying to find the right screws to put it in there. Got the screws. Basically, those screws are going in the back of the mounting plate, and in the bottom of that is the actual screen. So he's going to go ahead and tighten that up. Now we have that dash piece that originally came with the vehicle, and he's mounting that plate. So that part is done. Just installed that in the back there, all the screws, 6 of them. 6 one, you can see, 6 total. And there you go. Okay, so now we're moving on to the actual main unit. This is actually the main unit right here, or the radio, or whatever you want to call it, but this is the main unit. And we are gonna put some brackets on it.
Use some double-sided tape.
So now we've already attached the side brackets that you see there to the actual unit. Now you have this black piece here that's going to be zip tied and secured, so there's no movement. So at this point, we got the head unit. He's already removed all the other plugs that was on the original unit, and he's plugging this main piece right here to the back. So at this point, we got the head unit there. We've removed the previous head unit, and now Aeon has the screen here that's attached to the panel, and we're just trying to figure out which part goes to the front camera versus the rear camera. So after a couple hours, myself and Aeon mostly doing the work, trying to figure out the reverse camera to work, and we were having such a hard time, so we just kind of left it as is, but we were able to make it work, minus just the camera. The front camera is working just fine. We didn't install the undercarriage camera, which we really wanted to show, but we will probably see if we can do a review on that another time. But just to show you, it is working pretty good. So I'm going to turn on the unit and put on Apple CarPlay. Is it okay if I turn on the truck? Yeah. Yeah. All right. So turning it on now, and go ahead and plug this in CarPlay. So there it is, the unit is working. I got that plugged in.
And the people that try to tell the
And
truth. Oh God!
yeah.
I mean, I mentioned that.
Yeah,
my,
trouble
my
code is
stuff's
just from.
restricted. I haven't been.
It's nighttime
banned,
now,
but I'm
so
definitely
it's
shadow
dark
banned.
and
there's certain things you can't see.
temperatures dropped.
Because all I'm trying to, with the
So showing the low tide pressure, but yeah, you can hear the radio just fine and huge screen. A very big update just because of the fact that we could fit the screen, but we'll catch you up. Hopefully we can show the front camera, the rear camera, as well as the two cameras. So Aeon's already prepped it, so you know, I helped them snake it through, and then we pulled it out, and then we'll figure it out. We'll install the undercarriage cameras, because that's what I plan on doing, so I could watch where I'm going, especially my rear drive shaft, and watching the front as well. Kind of help with the approach angle. But that's it, guys. Stay tuned, and we'll see if we can get you some more content coming soon. So we're continuing with our install here for the Stinger Heigh 10 for the Tacoma, and we're taking it apart. I had to take it to a stereo shop yesterday to wire in the rear camera because we couldn't figure it out, but they were able to wire it in, and so now we're going to continue to work on this and install the cameras that I'm really excited about, which is going to go down here. And the reason for that, and some of you who've watched me destroy my drive shaft, is to really keep an eye on the drive shaft and also watch where I'm going. So that might be a little bit tricky to figure it out, but I'm just taking some precautions. Although I do have a really thick, beefy drive shaft now. When I went over to Reno, I made sure to ask for something close to bulletproof. But I'm just taking a precaution to make sure that I don't destroy it. Although I do still plan on carrying a spare drive shaft in the future whenever I go on a trail like the Rubicon Trail in the future. But the main thing that would really protect it is having eyes on when you're going over the rocks. So yeah, as you see here, I was able to get this squared away. Ricardo, also known as Urban Ops Off-Road, helped me square that away for the transfer case skid plate that was bashed in, and it was causing a lot of vibrations because it was making contact with the bottom skid plate part of the transfer case. Anyway, we're going to continue now as we try to get the side cameras and possibly the front camera, get that changed out as well, depending on how that looks. So we just wired this in. All the cameras are in now, so we have the, what you have here is the inside, which is going to be facing the rear, because that's the naming convention according to camera settings. I wish there was an optional way that you could rename it and type it yourself and name it in the convention you wanted, but you kind of just have to choose one of these. So camera 3 is inside, meaning it's facing the rear, and camera 2 is outside, that's the one facing the front, looking at, you know, a possible rock or an obstacle that you're going to go through. Obviously the rear is the backup camera, and then the front is the front camera, the very front by the grill. So we'll go through that sequence. So this right now is the inside, that's going to face the rear. It's the outside, it's going to face the front, but in the bottom side. And there's the front, obviously, and that's the rear backup camera. Cool. All right, Aeon and I just got finished with this. Mostly Aeon, his good work. Matter of fact, 99% of it is him. I'm just handing him stuff when he asks for it. But so yeah, so that's the rear. That's the rear. So we've designated that the correct way, which was already fixed, as I stated earlier. The front, Aeon made a correction and put it in the right camera. So in the camera settings, the front is camera 4, so we just kind of set it that way. And then, as I mentioned earlier, this is the naming convention we named. So this is the one facing to the front, but where this is placed at is actually, we decided to put this more on the bedside, right underneath the framing tube that I have from Archive Garage. That's not gonna get hit. It's way up in there, and also because of the fact that it's looking at the diff at this angle, which is something really unique, because then, you know, I could kind of see where I'm going. But if I'm still a little sketchy about that and unsure, I got this camera here, which is now, I know it's a little dark now, but if you look in there, it is looking directly at the drive shaft, the rear drive shaft. And Aeon made sure that this was installed in an area where it is basically hidden. So we'll go ahead and show you that here in this next segment. Alright guys, so I'm underneath the truck, and basically, you see this is the drive shaft, and that's the one that's facing to the rear. Okay, so that's the camera right there. Okay, and the one in the rear is way over there, so give me a moment. Alright guys, so I'm underneath the truck, and basically, you see this is the drive shaft, and that's the one that's facing to the rear. Okay, so that's the camera right there. Okay, and the one in the rear is way over there, so give me a moment. And as I mentioned earlier, that's where that camera is placed. So as you see there, it is on that Archive Garage cross tube, and you know, it's almost close to impossible having a rock slam into it. It can still happen, just very low chance, you know, it's gonna hit the hangers first before it does that, unless I'm just, you know, trying to bomb it and not really caring where I'm going. But that said, yeah, you see that? It's right there, and that's the one that's facing the diff, so I can keep a close eye on it. I'm probably gonna put a rock light. As a matter of fact, I will put a rock light there, as well as underneath over there, so whenever I need to use it when I'm wheeling late at night, I'm still able to see it. So yeah guys, that's where it's at. And just to make it 100% sure that you guys know where the camera is at, that's where it's at, right there. See that? That's where it's at. So, yep, that's it.